The Jim Channel Podcast, bringing you the big picture on geoscientific information management through interviews and discussions.
Hello, we welcome you to a special edition of the Jim Channel, direct from the PDAC convention in Toronto. I'm Misha Stacker from Acquire Technology Solutions, and today I'm joined by our guest, Mike McClelland. Mike is the Director of Land and Information at Cameco Exploration. He holds more than 20 years of data and mineral rights management within several different tiered and commodity-focused exploration companies, and now directs Cameco's global exploration dataset centralization and visualization initiatives. Welcome, Mike.
Thank you, Misha.
Mike, firstly, what brings you to PDAC this year?
I usually use PDAC as a great opportunity to meet up with my customers as well as our vendors. They're great relationships for us, and it's a great opportunity to get together with everyone and reinforce those relationships and get back on track as to where technology and Jim is going for multiple organizations, and try to align those organizations to meet Cameco's goals.
Yeah, that's great, Mike. PDAC is definitely a opportunity to connect and network with everyone. We're definitely finding that ourselves. Last year, as a guest speaker on the Acquire booth at PDAC, you were part of a panel of speakers. On the panel, 5 main challenges for geoscientific information management, or GIM, as we like to call it, were identified, and these were people, process, infrastructure, funding, and leadership. Do you think these challenges are still existing in the space of GIM?
I think it's definitely so, Misha. As we are potentially going out of this downturn, we're going back into, more exploration and I think much more controls within corporations themselves so that we don't repeat some of our errors of the past. Data for me plays an integral role in that, as far as your finances, your activities, your results, and the more transparent that you could make those data sets to the corporation, the less time there is that people, if you will, looking under your hood to see if you're doing something that may be putting the company at risk. So I think that it's still a constant challenge to keep people informed, but technology is the way to do it rather than from emails, meetings, or any other form of communication, that self-service to make sure that you aren't putting the company at risk and you're doing what you said you'd do.
Yeah, great. Do you think there are any new challenges that are presenting in the industry at the moment?
I don't think so. Control is going to be a bigger thing in the future. I think there's more opportunities that we've come across, as far as the business intelligence, business analytics. We've added on I think it's the 7th pillar of our fundamental data set, which is 3D, and that's a great piece that we're working with now, making the 3D modeling very intuitive and easy for people to see at a very fundamental level, and then launching off of that 3D, with the relationship with Acquire and Leapfrog Central is probably one of the most novel software or developments that I've seen in the last 10 years. It's really great, and it's going to add a lot of value to our company.
Yeah, great. That's great to hear. I think we had a talk yesterday on our booth, which was about the integration between Leapfrog, the GIM suite, and also Reflex Now. Is the full value of GIM and better data governance starting to be recognised by the resources industry, do you think?
I think not only is it being recognized, it's necessary. It's nothing that's I think negotiable anymore. People, whether it's your joint venture partners or your customs internally, expect that the money that you spent collecting data is accessible to everyone, and to some extent it is processed and visualized in a very simplistic manner. I don't think that's negotiable any longer. People do not want to dig. They don't want to try to find historical information. They want it at their fingertips.
Yeah, that's great. We hear a lot of talk about companies needing to drive greater efficiencies and striving to be more productive in their operations. Do you think Jim is playing a bigger role in this now?
Definitely, Misha. Again, definitely. We're working a lot with our dashboards as well as with our fundamental pillars, whether that be Adapt server for geophysics or Acquire for our whole drill hole and geochemical workflow. We're utilizing all that to make people aware of, in a dashboard environment, what are the fundamental products that need to come out of each of these work streams, and what is the minimum quality standards that we require. So yes, we're leveraging Jim's a lot in trying to make people keep their eyes on the prize and what is important to the company and what comes first.
Yeah, great. You mentioned before some technologies around 3D, and that's some new stuff coming out that you're quite excited about. Is there any other technologies or trends or new innovations that you've seen at PDAC this year that's catching your eye?
Not really. We keep pretty up to date on. We have a very good relationship with all of our partners in each of their domains, whether it be the drilling, geochemistry, geophysics, geology, 2D, 3D. So nothing really comes as a surprise to us. But we are still working a lot with. We see a lot of. We've sort of done a lot in the spatial world, and now we're trying to leverage a lot in the SharePoint world. So, spatially referencing all of our documents in a very broad sense as to where they're located, getting our, whether it's reporting through sort of a workflow that they're escalated and people put in the amount of data that they're required to, and then it gets signed off, and then it gets published and put into SharePoint. So trying to automate a lot more of our processes so there's not that sort of manual fumbling of material. We've always seen that in the geology world, that things go through emails and do you have this, do I have that, Excel spreadsheets. Hopefully we've progressed out of that world, but trying to add that same discipline into the document world.
Yeah, great, Mike. Lastly, I think we'll just start to wrap that up there, but what's one of the greatest things about being at PDAC this year?
I think the greatest thing is seeing the amount of people here and the energy. I would never have suspected that there would be this much excitement or enthusiasm as towards the future. It's probably something I don't see a lot where I'm based, seeing sort of the whole community of mineral exploration, but even talking to consultants that I know and even software vendors, everyone seems that last year was the low and we're out of that trough. So that gives me renewed enthusiasm as to our whole industry, and hopefully the next cycle is a good one, and it won't have the amplitude of the last one.
Thanks, Mike. That's a great little summary of PDAC there, and thanks for joining us for the interview today.
Thank you very much, Misha.
That's it for today. So if you've enjoyed our discussion, please tell your friends and colleagues about the podcast. You can find us on the Acquire newsroom at acquire.com.au.
You've been listening to Acquire's podcast, The Jim Channel. Find us at acquire.com.au.